We all hear stories that inspire us, that motivate us, and sometimes even scare us. And today we have a guest whose story gives you all of it. Born in Russia and moved throughout 8 different countries before landing in Canada, Yana Malik has a powerful story, coming from a war-stricken country to facing poverty and now becoming a music video director here in Toronto. In the face of adversity, she refused to let anything stand in her way of achieving her dream to become a filmmaker. And she's here with us today to share her story. So I'm your host, Danny Lau, and I'm sitting beside my co-host, Anthony Boltsinas, and across of us today, Yana Malik. Let's get it. All right, welcome to the Apple Box Podcast. We are here with Yana today, and she is a film director. Music videos mainly you put on your page. You like to do music videos. You moved here from the Ukraine when?
I moved in September, but I moved not directly from Ukraine. I lived in 8 countries before Canada.
8 countries?
8 countries?
Why 8?
I mean, war, and you're trying to...
Oh, war. Yeah.
I was trying to find the perfect place for me.
Wow.
But it turned out that it is hard to find the perfect place for you because nothing is perfect, especially when you're sad, depressed, and lost. And
like all of us are, all artists.
It's a dark start to the podcast.
No, I'm happy.
Yeah. I know. We're talking about a hat.
Yeah. But you need to find the perfect place for you. Yeah.
What were the 8 countries? What were the other countries you tried?
So I was born in Kharkiv, and Kharkiv is really close to Russian border, and there is no film industry in Kharkiv at all.
Oh.
So when I was 19 years old, I firstly took my first trip to Moscow, Russia, because it was just the biggest spot for all music industry and all artists, and all opportunities were there. So I'm like, can I do that? Sure.
Yeah.
So I went there, and almost all my projects were filmed there. And when war started, I was in Moscow.
Oh, wow.
In
That's
Russia.
Crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I received 2 messages. One from my childhood friend. She texted me, the war started. And my mom. My mom texted me, I'll go, don't worry.
Wow.
So I was in Moscow just with my baggage, and the only goal was to cross the border, just
want to get out.
just to escape.
Right.
To escape from guilt being there.
Yeah.
And almost every flight was canceled because of sanctions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there were only 2 destinations, United Arab Emirates and Turkey. And I was like, what can I do? At least they speak English in United Arab Emirates.
Right. Yeah.
So I booked a flight, and after a couple of days, I was in Dubai without any ideas what to do in my life. So United Arab Emirates, then it turned out that it is very... I thought I will be good. I will work, war will end after 1 week. I will go back home. Everything will be all right. But, and I thought, that's a great spot to earn money. But not when you are sad and lost. So all I was doing just like crying, because it is the first step to accept all what was going on.
Yeah.
So, and it turned out that it is so expensive to cry in Dubai. And I decided...
That's amazing. Wow.
I decided to cry somewhere in other place.
So you ended up here in Toronto, in Canada.
No, I went to Turkey.
Oh, you went to Turkey. Okay.
Canada is so far. It is just...
Oh, you went to way more ever since that.
Yeah, 8
Oh,
countries.
wow.
Because Canada is... it's scaring because it's around another part of the world.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to Turkey. I spent there a couple of months. And I rented an apartment in Airbnb. And it turned out that you can rent apartment in Airbnb in city center of Istanbul, and it will be Turkish ghetto. So
Wow.
Wow.
it was not very friendly environment, and I decided that I need to go somewhere else. So I went to Europe. I was in Austria, Hungary, Germany, Poland, France.
Jeez.
Then I landed in Vancouver, and here we are in Toronto.
Wow.
And what was the period of time from leaving Russia and Ukraine, 8 countries now here? How long was that?
So the war started 21st of February, and 27th I was in Dubai, and half of the year. I guess.
So just traveling and trying to find a
Half
place.
of the year. So more than one country per month.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Holy.
You probably got a lot of that stuff probably informs some of your storytelling and your directing a little bit, right?
It changed my life.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
will
bet,
never
yeah.
be the same. So
You were alone the whole time by yourself? Did
Yeah.
your friends meet up with you ever? Or anything?
no friends.
Family?
Family is in Ukraine. Friends are in Ukraine, or
So they didn't
Oh my
leave
God.
or visit you, go on your journey?
my journey. So my mom decided to stay because it seems like it is very obvious to leave your home when it's dangerous. But
Right.
when you spend
Wow.
almost all your life, you have properties, you have husband who is not allowed to leave the country because of his military.
Obligations.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I spoke to her. I was begging her because you have panic. You don't know what to do. You
Yeah.
just want to save your family. And she said me, no. And I was angry, upset. But then I just understood that that's her life, and I can't have this responsibility for her decisions, and she needs to decide for herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's an incredible story.
Do you mind me asking how old you are?
25.
25. So all this at a really young age.
Not really young.
25.
I'm the
is
same
young.
age,
He's
so
the
I don't
same
feel. I feel
age.
kind of old too.
No, but that's a lot of experience for somebody at your age, which is just, I'm sure it's
War is crazy.
Yeah, and it's sure it's inspired your career in how you probably direct now. So, let's talk a little bit about your directing.
Sure.
You came to Toronto. How have you found the industry so far? Has it accepted you really well, and are you finding it that it's fun? Is it fun for you to work here in Toronto?
I'm happy. I'm the happiest ever person on earth because I have an opportunity to work. And
Yeah.
I had this huge pause for months. And as soon as I ended up on set for the first time, I felt it like for the first time. I don't know. I feel that everything I can perceive right now, it's like for the first time. Huge euphoria. Just because of basics.
Yeah.
And when I firstly ended up on set in Toronto, I was calming myself down not to scream because I was so happy. And people here
That's
are
amazing.
incredible.
Yeah.
Just that level of support, I have never felt something like that.
Wow.
Just walking angels, everybody here.
Wow.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your first set? What was the project, and what were you doing on set?
I was second AD. And
Okay.
I was
Cool.
the happiest ever second AD in the world, I
You were
guess.
clapping that thing.
Yeah. I was when I landed in Toronto, I knew 0 people. So I was like, what can I do? So I just started to email everybody, to write in Instagram, and nobody answered.
Yeah, it's very common too.
Like nobody. And I was like, whoa, it never happened to me before when in your previous life,
Yeah.
everybody reached out to you and you're like, oh, I don't know. Do you have time this month for
Yeah.
this project or no? And
Yeah.
here, nobody cares.
You had to reset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was knocking to every door, and one door opened, and she was Michelle Woodward. She is a commercial producer, and she just we met, and I asked her so many questions because I had no idea how industry works here, and I was like, how is this? And she was like, you need to do this, and during the time you will do this, it would be good to earn some money or you will be homeless.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm already homeless. So yeah, she gave me that opportunity. And after that, it was like unstoppable snowball of connections.
Yeah. That's crazy. So what was your first directing gig here in Toronto?
Music video for Amanda Marshall. I don't know if you know her. No. Yeah.
No, but
So
yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. And how did that go? How was that shoot for
Amazing.
you? Yeah.
She had the pause in her career for 15 years and she was superstar in 90s. And so we were kind of in the same position. So I was extremely happy to be on set and she was extremely happy to be back. And it was incredible. She was the first artist in my life who held my hand before a shoot and she was like, we will be proud about that and we will make it. Everybody here in this place, everybody from the team, they are here for our idea and we will make it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
That's a good little like pep talk before the shoot.
That doesn't normally happen with clients.
It never happened
That's crazy.
to me. Yes.
Yeah.
So how did you get that opportunity to direct that music video?
Oh, that's a long story.
Okay. We got some time.
Yeah. So based on my experience about being refugee and experiencing the war, you want to talk about that and it will influence your art. So the first ever project I decided to direct here in Toronto was a passion project documentary about war. So I did the treatment. I showed this treatment to Michelle and Michelle was like, whoa, I can show, I will try to help you. So she forwarded the treatment to Sessler Agency.
Nice.
Wow.
And they were like, oh, wow, we would love to be a part of it. So they connected me with Keenan Lynch.
Wow.
And
That's crazy.
he was very passionate about this project and he's crazy talented.
So he's your first DP.
Yes, he's my first.
Not bad.
That's pretty good. Holy cow.
Yeah.
What a name. Yeah.
And he just put so much effort and his vision and it was something magical. So slowly going to my music video.
Yeah.
He knew a guy whose name is Alex, and he is the founder of Tree Palm Production Company. And they asked him, not they, Keenan asked Alex if he is able to help with insurance. And he said yes. So after we did that project, I reached out to Alex just to say, thank you very much for your help. I really appreciate you. We never met and you just helped.
Wow.
And he said, let's meet. So we met. And then we just really, we catch the connection. And a couple of months later, he was like, do you want to pitch your ideas to labels? I'm like, do I want? Yes, I do.
Of course.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I just won the pitching, or how do you say it here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like bidding or pitching on a
Yeah,
project.
Yeah.
bidding.
So the artist just liked my idea more
Oh.
than anybody else.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so
It is.
cool.
So like what do your days typically look like? Like are you mainly writing treatments? How do you structure your life?
Oh, that's crazy. My life is crazy. I was homeless for 9 months. So
Yeah.
it just it's kind of changed my life because you're in survival mode. You just need all I thought about is basics to survive, to rebuild my life, because you have different parts. You have your job, you have your friends, you have your hobbies, passions, life, ground under your feet. And then in one moment it's like nothing. So it took time to rebuild everything. And during all that time I was not able, it was just too hard to find the inspiration. I was filming everything just in automatic mode.
Yeah.
Like I just, because
You
I
just
know
want
how
to
to
film.
do that.
Yeah.
I will just film that.
Just film,
With
yeah.
no goal, no purpose. And nowadays, I'm not homeless anymore.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I guess it depends. It is very flexible, and mostly I'm on my own in my thoughts. And the best productive days I spent when I have communication with people, with DPs or on set. Something like that. Very flexible.
So now that you're working and now that you've kind of set your foot here in this industry, what do you look for in this industry now? When I know like directors are always looking for DPs, like for all the inspiring DPs out there that want to DP music videos, what does like director like you look for when you're looking for a DP?
That's a good question because now I am looking for perfect matches.
I see.
For me. Personal connection. And it could sound strange, but values and vision. I really love to have the connection when the DP understands you without any even words. So that's perfect. And I kind of catch this with Keenan, and he's great. I love that.
Yeah.
And I want to try more.
Yeah.
I want to try
It's
more.
very established. Yeah, really done some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about connection, you're talking somebody that you kind of share life experiences with, or
No, I don't know how
more
to
like
describe it.
more like visual connection, like artistic connection, like same taste in video, or same
Both.
taste in both. Okay,
You just get each other.
these
It's
kind of
like
just synergize.
telepathic. Yeah.
You just can't describe that or explain. You just feel it.
Yeah,
It's
the
like
feeling.
the partner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like another partner in life.
Yeah.
Almost like a marriage, as he described it at one
It is.
point. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just no divorce. You know?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Exactly.
Let's see.
Yeah. So when it comes to like directing, and what I want to get into why you decided to direct of all the positions that you could have did, why director, and how did that start?
I was learning economics in university.
Okay.
And it was kind of sad. And I was 18. And I was like, oh, do I want to do this during my whole life?
Right.
Yeah.
And then I got that, oh, that's a huge lie. I need to do something or I will be sad for my whole life. So I dropped out of university, and I had no understanding how does the industry works because we had no industry.
Yeah.
And I never knew what does the director do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I thought all you need is just to film. So I grabbed any type of camera, found the pocket camera in my mom's shelf with which she went on vacations.
Yeah.
And I decided, let's go. Now I'm the director. So that's somehow like this. And then I went to Moscow for the first time. It was all in my life happens so randomly, and I'm so happy about that because it's like the game or it meant to be, because I rented a room and my neighbor, my roommate, was music producer. So I was in Moscow and I was sitting in our kitchen, and just celebrities, like Russian celebrities from TV, they're coming in our kitchen, and I'm like, oh, hi, my name is Yana. I can film a free music video for you.
Nice.
And they started to say yes.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Not for, it was not very big from the very beginning. So I was like one person, videographer.
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Doing it all.
Yeah. And then after I got that you could make more and better if you will work with team,
Yes.
Yeah.
I decided, what can I do? And it was very obvious that all I want to do is direct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you mainly directing music videos right now? Are you branching out into commercials or any other niches?
Yeah, I based on the experience I got after the last year, I would love to do narrative, and we already filmed one project. Documentary is in the process because during the war and during that year I was filming everything just because I can film, and that's all I can do.
Yeah.
And so 2 narrative projects, music videos, the main passion, and I would love to challenge myself in commercial world, but in narrative side. So not like, oh, that's
Like buy my
food.
products. Like
That's water. Buy it. That's,
yeah.
Yes.
You want to tell story.
Tell stories
within it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emotional, dramatic. That's me.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's very cool because that's similar to what we're trying to get into, or Anthony's trying to get into.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm coming from like freelance photography and I guess videography for like 6-7 years almost, and now transitioning into directing.
Wow.
full time, which is a big transition and it's hard. But I'm more focused on commercials for sure, but narrative commercials, which is what we're focusing
It's the
on.
exact same story. Yeah, we want to tell stories, and we want to actually like 30-second story. If you can touch people with a 30-second story,
Love
that's
it.
powerful.
Yeah.
It is so powerful
You
because
know?
after 30 seconds, you can change somebody's life for a tiny bit.
Exactly.
And that's magic.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
magic. Yeah, exactly. Do you have anything that inspires you in terms of like maybe a commercial that inspires you or a movie, perhaps?
No, I guess I am very inspired by emotions and by people and their stories, like the real life, probably.
Okay.
And when something is changing my life, I'm craving to tell everybody about that. I'm like, please listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've been, as I'm like getting more into directing, I'm realizing the importance and like the value of like actually having just as many experiences in life as like possible.
Oh, 100%.
So even just like chilling at a cafe and like listening on someone else's conversation or like seeing different people walk by, and you can like try to peer into their life, and then you can experience things, and then that always builds up like your, like, I guess your own universe of stories that you can pull from later.
I love that.
Yeah. So I need to do more of that because I was like workaholic. So,
Oh.
like, so basically just work, like not experiencing life. Now I'm like trying to learn how to experience life again. So that's pretty interesting.
I'm really happy to hear that you have the new upcoming chapter. That's very special.
It's a different chapter. It's a different book, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you find like you go to like a cafe or like you're living in Little Italy, right?
Yeah.
Do you just go to random spots and like hang out or like meet people or just talk? Like, are you social like that, or do you just?
When you have zero friends, you should be social.
Yeah, that's right.
Like even if you don't like it. But I love people. I'm
Yeah.
very social, and I love to jump deeper in people's stories. And
Hmm.
the most enjoyable thing for me is conversations with interesting people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I find like maybe because every time I go out and I meet someone unique. I'm like, this
Yes.
person's like a character. Like, this is like, you have this, like, what a unique life, you know? I remember I was supporting my friend's business. He had like some event, and I met this artist there who like was in New York, and he does like this ink illustration stuff. And he's such a like artist. And he's like, you got to go to New York. You got to go to New York. He's just like beating it over my head. Like, you got to go. And he was such a character. And I like meeting characters like that.
I adore that. That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's
And
probably the same for you, right?
it was the first time in my life when I felt like, oh, now all my friends and family are characters. Everybody is experiencing such a strange historical time. What?
Yeah.
Are we characters of the blockbuster? What is going on?
Do you watch a lot of movies or like TV? Like, do you consume a lot of stuff or no?
It's very strange to analyze because the last year was so different. It was not the time for movies at all. I was like, oh, I don't have
Survival.
home. Yeah. But I love movies. I really love movies. I don't like TV shows. I don't watch
Yeah.
TV at all.
Interesting.
Do you?
I watch all of it, but I'm a cinematographer. So
Yeah,
for me, I'm more studying, like, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm studying the shots. I'm studying the lighting. I'm studying how it's done. I'm studying new compositions, camera movement.
Yeah.
I'm more of a cinematographer. So for me, it doesn't matter what I'm watching. It could be commercial, it could be movie, it could be TV show. If it looks good and I'm inspired by it, I'll watch it. But as a director, I imagine that like whatever you want to direct, you should be watching. So if you want to get in commercials, you should probably watch commercials.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're into music
Study,
videos,
yeah.
you should be studying music videos, right?
Do you watch music videos? Like,
Of course I do. Everybody does.
okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really watch music videos.
I don't either, to be honest.
Okay.
I'll watch yours.
I used to as a kid, though. I'll
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah. Much, yeah, exactly.
used to.
But personally, I watch like old films from like the 30s and 40s and 50s from like France or also the US, like film noir and stuff like that. I like older stuff because I feel like it's
Almost Criterion.
stuff.
stuff.
Criterion Channel
Collection,
stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like so stripped down to a certain level that you really have to. It's just story at that point and like storytelling, you know. So
Yeah, I'm definitely
100%.
more inspired by like the age of Scorsese and like
Yes.
the people
Yeah.
who are telling stories about people. Like I'm fascinated by people stories.
Same.
Exactly.
So I
yeah.
love like some people always say, well, I don't know if I would get into narrative. I'd like a lot of camera movement and like commercial like stuff. For me, I love if I could film two people sitting at a desk just talking to each other.
yeah.
That is what I want to film.
The highest level of
Yes.
being the director.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So do you have a figure that you look up to, like a Scorsese or something that you look up to?
Yeah, 100%. That's basics.
Martin Scorsese. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
I
Marty.
love Scorsese. I love Wong Kar-wai because of his visuals.
Yeah.
Just my favorite. And I love Nolan
yeah.
because
Oh, I
of
love
his
Nolan.
plot.
Yeah, his
So
plots. Yeah, exactly.
good at like twisting a story and like he messes with your brain.
Him and his brother are like a good team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, I like Gaspar Noé because he's like adventures. You never know what to expect, and I had hard times watching his climax. I was like, I can't watch it. I will go away right now, but I did not, and it just art.
Yeah.
How he leads you emotionally, and he just involves you.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you find that you like when it comes to like your story, you've been through a lot. Do you find that you draw a lot of that in your work? Like when you create something, do you draw from a lot of your experiences? Does it help inspire your imagination? Like how do you use your story to elevate your career?
I'm just starting. It's
Nice.
the first year in my life when I definitely have something to tell.
Yeah.
The first
Wow.
time in my life. So it definitely will be like
Yeah.
that because you just can't be quiet. That's
Yeah.
all you experience. That's all you can say
Yeah.
to be meaningful.
And you have to say it. You can't
yes.
not say it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's almost
Yes.
like a
It's like a fire that burns
yeah.
inside you. You have
Yeah.
to share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
it's pretty
have to.
powerful.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what does that look like? What stories are you going to tell? A documentary, obviously, but
Yeah, 2 documentaries.
Okay.
One was like very arty, based on real events in my life. When my first month in Canada, I was feeling that I felt like I'm old. It could
Yeah.
it could hear listen sound English. It could sound really strange, but I felt like I'm a retired old woman, and it is strange. So
So it's almost like an old soul. You feel like?
yeah, it's like
Wow.
people, they are living their best life, and you live your best life as well. But people your age, they can't get that. They
Yeah.
just can't. And that's great that they can't because they're happy to live normal life, to not
You
experience.
just don't have the experience that you've had
Yeah,
That's right.
growing
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
And that's the first point I wanted to talk about. And the second one is that almost for a year, I had my baggage and it was unpacked for a year.
Oh, really?
So that's like my life fits in this baggage.
one
So
bag.
I wanted to show that.
Wow.
And that the project has a name, Rootless. So it's like you lost your roots and
Yeah,
now
that's
you're
cool.
somewhere
That's powerful.
with one baggage.
So what's the
with one
timeline
life.
for that for Rootless?
Under 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty small.
Oh, it's like a
And
little
when are you
short
gonna like when are you shooting and when are you like finishing it kind of thing?
I hope. Oh, I'm stuck in with editing process. So that's like very hard for me.
Yeah.
Because you just want to make it the most powerful ever, and I know that there is no perfection. But I'm trying. I hope it will be ready in May.
Cool.
Oh, that's soon.
That's good. That's really
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, no, that sounds really powerful, especially when it comes from like your heart and your experience. Like you already know it's
That's
going to
deep.
be. it's
And I
gonna
was
be
in
deep,
front
yeah.
of camera. I felt like
Oh, wow.
that's the
Yeah.
first time I should do that. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was in old lady makeup.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you're an actor as well.
Oh no,
Okay.
I'm not an actor at all. It's just the story which should be told by me.
Yeah, right. So if you had one message that you want to share with the industry, like who is Yana in this industry? What do you want to, what kind of mark or what kind of footprint do you want to leave in this industry? Your absolute fantasy. Like if you were to say like, I want people to know me as this, what would it be?
Oh, what a hard question.
It's a deep one.
In 15, 20, 30, 40 years.
In 50, oh, That's a long-term plans. I don't build plans because I had so many
That's
plans
right.
before. I had so many goals, and then in one day, life was like, "Hi, that's
Yeah.
me. I'm sorry you have these plans. I don't know
Yeah.
what will happen next, but I have no idea. I'm just making tiny steps, and I have no idea where will I end up. But I know for sure that I will be happy there because I know after that year, I know that life is too short.
I'm grateful for every moment.
Oh yeah, I can consciously feel every moment, and
Yeah.
I don't know who's Yana. I have no idea. I have a feeling that I lived my previous life. Now I have the new one.
Yes,
Who is
And
me?
you're
I'm
like,
building it.
you're discovering it
Yeah.
yourself right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really beautiful. So if you had one piece of advice for people who've gone through a lot in life, perhaps, like your position,
Yeah.
it's, for a lot of people, unfortunately, it's not something where people are like, I'm gonna be a film director after. A lot of people just try to survive, and it's very difficult in dark times to want to inspire to be something and actually want to share that artistic side of them. So, for all the people who may be out there that are struggling with life, who are looking for inspiration, who feel like they can be something but don't have the courage to do so, what kind of advice can you give them?
That's an interesting question because for me, making this tiny steps, even if it's hard, is painful every time. It's hard. But the pain of not doing it is more,
Yeah.
so much more. So I just can't do that. And for me, it was never a question about courage. You just can't do other way. And probably it's about the decision. If you want, probably they just don't need it. Like if you ask yourself this question, do you need it? If you would love to be a storyteller, you just make a tiny step and then one more, and then you're like, oh, I did not a bad path.
Yeah.
So just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
because of Nike.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. Just ask your question if you need to do this decision, and if you're capable to do a decision, just trust yourself and
Yeah.
just make steps.
Yeah.
Nobody will come and help you. Nobody. And if you will look for inspiration every day, inspiration will come and go, but you will stay with yourself, and you will face your decisions, and it's all about you.
But if it follows your path, like you did, like you go out there and you reach out to people, right? You message them, you knock on their door, you emailed them, and,
Yes.
and you ask questions,
Yes.
and eventually, next thing you know, you meet that one person, and that one person snowballs into five
Oh, yeah.
people. And
That-
but if you just sit there and think, you don't move.
That time, it was like, I'm able to spend one more day here in Toronto because I landed in Vancouver and I had no home and friends here, nothing. I was hosted by a woman who I never met before, like a stranger, and I was living in her couch for 1.5 months, and every day was like a challenge. I was like, yeah, one more day without hearing from anybody here in this city. And when you experience this for months and a half, you have so many questions to yourself. Am I good enough? What I'm doing here? Will I
Yeah.
die from poverty? Or what
Jesus.
I'm doing here without people who I love? For what? That's all. Why I'm here?
That's insane.
Well, that's powerful because not a lot of people can get through that, and that's it's a very good testament to you, and having a strong mind and a strong heart and a strong belief in yourself. No, that's admirable.
It
It's
was
really
like
cool.
one day more, one day more. It was a
One day.
small lie to
Yeah.
yourself every day that one day
Wow.
is tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's good to remind yourself of that, because, there's times in the industry where it's slow and people don't have work. And we all face those questions like, do I just suck? Is that now I know people are not calling me? Like, am I not good enough? Or did I do something? And sometimes you just have to be grateful for the moments you have. And then you just got to keep trying, and every opportunity, be happy that you have the opportunity to film something. And,
Yeah, every opportunity. And
Yeah.
you said that, and I had a conversation with the successful director with 20 years experience, and she says the same. She's like, every time when I have no calls, I'm like, I have zero talent. I'm a bad director. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that. And I'm like, whoa, if you think like that, who am I?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Everyone thinks of that. I think every level, every podcast I
Yeah.
listen to, every person I hear from, the imposter syndrome is always there. So it's
Yeah.
like, you almost have to be like, all right, like maybe if I do suck, I have to keep going. You know, I'm already here.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I won't suck as much as yesterday, you know?
Oh, yeah, I adore that.
Yeah.
I love people who is not afraid to be cringy. I mean, it's the freedom.
Afraid to fail.
Yeah.
It is freedom.
Yeah. Which is, you can speak from experience and understand.
Yeah.
what
Oh,
that-
I was so cringy.
Yeah.
And probably I am a bit, but I love it. I mean, that's
gotta
like
embrace your own
Embrace
cringe.
yourself.
Yes.
Embrace your weirdness.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All my first music videos, my people in my university were like, oh, please, let's tell everybody that we don't know each other.
Wow.
Wow.
Look at you now, you know?
It's crazy because I think the most successful artists in history were all weird in their own way. You know, I mean, maybe some of them are more secretively weird, but you know, like I'm weird. I got some weird qualities. Like
Everyone's weird.
Everyone's weird. Anthony's weird as hell. You know?
I love it.
I like it though. It's like,
But we like, yeah, it's who we are.
it's like it's almost when I'm weird and everyone's like not being weird. I'm like, what? Be weird. You know, it's all right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very comfortable with being weird. I think.
Yeah.
You know, like I grew up a loner. Like I didn't have friends growing up. So, you know, like I was always a loser, you know, and I was bullied and I was all that kind of stuff. So, you know, but I think that's what makes you a great artist though, you know, when you're able to express
100%.
and you kind of like learn to live with yourself and understand
yeah.
who you are. So when you put it out there, you're not copying what you see everywhere. You're putting yourself out there. And I think that's the beauty of being weird and being an artist.
I love that. And also, if you're weird, you have this criteria. You can see weird people, and you're like, oh, that's my type. I like that.
You got to find your weird DP.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to find your weird DP.
That's what I'm looking for.
yeah.
There you go.
I mean, there's so many DPs in Toronto.
I'm looking for a weird one.
Yeah, you got to look for the weirdest
The
one.
right
So
weird
Yeah.
too.
we're putting this on podcast right now. All you weird DPs, message
Applications.
Yana. Applications, go to Yana right now. See and hope maybe you can get an opportunity to work with, you know, hopefully a successful director in the future. So, you know, all of us are here trying to be successful and,
Yes.
you know, yeah,
Suck less.
suck less.
Just suck less. And be weird. That's
Yeah,
like the
exactly. So, you know, it's a good, you know, when the director says to be weird, everyone's allowed to be weird. That's how it works.
Yes. Be real.
Yeah, be
tagline.
real.
That's what it is. Exactly.
Is there any other message you want to leave for the audience or, you know, people who watch this podcast?
Your fans.
Your fans. There you go. Your future DPs, your future weird DP, perhaps.
My message. Let me have 10 seconds to think
This is like
about
the
that.
You got
like
more than 10
Academy
seconds.
Awards. They're counting you down. You're like, you gotta hurry up.
Probably the worst situation in my life ended up to be the best. If not the war, I would never be brave enough and have this courage to cross the world and think about how can I turn it to make it the best ever situation in my life. So I thought, okay, if I have no home anymore, now all I can do is to start doing my art for the whole world. And the only way to do that is to start to speak English and because everybody speaks English. And you just need to find another angle to change the lens. And then you will get that, oh, wow, the ceilings in industry here is so much higher. You have endless amount of opportunities. You just need to change the lens and you will see it.
I think that's amazing. It changed perspective on any given situation. It's important, like, you know, just give a brief because it's the first time we're conversing about our lives here. I feel like I know a little bit more about you, which is really nice. You know, for someone like me and my story, you know, my life crashed 3 years ago, right? Like, and I lost everything, right? So
Wow.
I lost my home, lost my girlfriend, longtime girlfriend at that time, lost all my jobs because pandemic. I was traveling the world, so I was kind of like you, but I was traveling working. So yeah, so you know, all of it when they shut everything down, I lost everything. I lost my money. I lost everything. Had to move back home for a little bit, and it was a little embarrassing for me, right, to do that, but I had to. And you know, I lost friends and family members, and it was just crazy time. And that's when I met Anthony, actually, and that's why we're here today, because he entered my life in the darkest place in my life. And I gotta say, like, I had so much excuses to sit there and be like, well, that's it. My life failed, you know, like everything went downhill. And what you said about you can change the angle and change perspective on your life, I had to choose at one point and tell myself, okay, you can either go down this and you can give up and you feel sorry for yourself for the rest of your life, or you can do something about it.
Yes.
And here I am, and you know, I never regretted a second of it. Now I'm here. Like, I never thought 3 years ago I'd be sitting here right now.
I really feel you.
You know,
really.
And that is like, it's all just in your mind, right? And
everything.
It's all in my mind. And it doesn't matter how much trauma you go through, if you truly believe in your mind that you can become something and you do something small, like you said, small things every day, eventually you're like, holy crap, how did I get here? Right? You're like, wow.
Yes.
I was broke and homeless for a little bit. Like, what happened? Like, you know, and so I think that's a very powerful message. And I really hope that I look forward to Rootless. I think that is I think that's going to be a beautiful story. And I think that's going to touch a lot of hearts. And I honestly can't wait to see the projects you come up with, because
thank you.
You have such a powerful story.
You have such a powerful story. I respect your way. Wow.
Thank you.
That's huge.
Thank you. So, Yana, I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, that was
Thank
great.
This is
you.
a great conversation.
Thank you.
I thank you for sharing your story and being so open with everybody.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be so many people out there inspired by your story and going to want to do things, you know, with
And
their
launch
lives,
your
hopefully,
career. Yeah.
and elevate their career the way you have. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was great.
Boom.
That's a
Done.
wrap.
Cut. That's a wrap.